The final capability in acceleration is to use artificial intelligence. Now, this artificial intelligence system, which is in AI Predict and Mitigation, does two things. Number one, if you haven't run a QSRA analysis or risk analysis, it will automatically run one based on the recommendations for duration and certainty that it has learned from the past data of the project and from the database that we have provided it with. Number two, it will shorten activities, so it will take their duration and it will shorten them and simulate across a large number of simulations what that impact will be. From that point number two, it will make recommendations. So we've got a recommendation 1 and a recommendation 2 that says 48 days. Now in this recommendation 2, it's taken all critical path activities and it has shortened them all by 50%. And if we're shortening them all by 50%, the overall P80 deliverable of the program accelerates by 48 days. And we can see which activities are driving most of this. So we can see that this, and this are driving the vast majority. If we take those off, we can see that this activity actually makes no impact at all. These only make very small impacts. What we can do is a number of things here. We could create new opportunities ourselves in the top right. So I can click on New Opportunity, and it will enable me to run a new scenario. All I do is I select the activities I care about, and I've got my advanced search function again. So these can be targeted. For example, I've spoken with the construction director, and he thinks, let's actually do this live. I've spoken with the construction director, and he thinks that there's an opportunity to accelerate non-critical path activities, such as, well, these all seem to be on the critical path. Let's do critical path activities of here, 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 and here. Those can be accelerated. And they can be accelerated by, let's say, 60%, 40%, 20%, and 10%. I'm going to call this construction here. All I have to do is click Run New Opportunity, and it'll run that scenario for us. We then only have to wait a couple of seconds, and it'll take us back to the original screen. It will prep the analysis. It could, depending on how big the program is, it might take a couple of minutes, but in this sense, it was completed that quickly in just a couple of seconds. And then we can dive into the analysis. So I've no idea what these results are going to be, so we're going to see them together for the first time. So a gain of 19 days is what we've got. Almost all of the contribution comes from this activity, which actually has a planned duration of 9 days. But if we shorten it by 60%, which would be 6 days, we actually get 67% of 19 days is around 13 days. That's how much uncertainty is lying around this one. And we can see that these two provide, this shortening of 10 days is not worth it. It doesn't provide us a gain. What we are able to do as well is we're able to download that list so we can take it away and analyze it ourselves. In terms of the workflow that I'd personally use this for, I'd go paths, then I'd go into AI prediction and mitigation and run scenarios so I can very, very quickly understand which activities I should be targeting. And then I would go and properly do this in the risk section, and I would manually adjust it so that I understand all of the inputs that are going in and the outputs I'm getting out. What mitigation does is it saves you a large amount of time isolating the activities that you should be looking at to accelerate your program.